Hey everyone, it's Sue here and welcome to my channel. I'm working in 1 Samuel chapter 1 verses 1 through 20, and this is actually one of Rebecca Jones's challenges. It's actually her challenge from January of 2016. She's doing it different this year. She's doing one challenge per month. Last year she did one every week, and that, oh my gosh, I don't know how she did it. 52 weeks, that's a lot. But I did all of her challenges last year, and this year I'm just going to get caught up at this point. So I did go back to January, and she did her page much differently than I. All she really asks is that you work with the same scripture that she's working on. You don't have to use the same products. So here I'm using a stencil that's made specifically for Bible art journaling. And I will put the link below to Housewares on Etsy. And Tammy has a lot of stencils, all different kinds and sizes of stencils. And she has multiple sets of the stencils that are made for Bible art journaling. And I can highly recommend her stencils. They are very well made. And with this one, I just wanted to get that scalloped look around the edge. And now I'm going to work with a stencil that is made by Peta Thompson, and she has an Etsy shop, and I'll put all the links below. And she is Miss Lady Petals on YouTube and all over the place. Also on Periscope, and that's the name of her Etsy shop as well. But like I said, I'll put the links below, and you can definitely go and check them out. So when I first did this stencil, so this is Hannah, and 1 Samuel talks about how, Hannah's husband had 2 wives, and she could not bear children, but the other wife could, and that obviously bothered her very much. She really struggled with that, and to stay strong and to deal with that was difficult for her. But as chapter 1 goes, on, like on verse 17, it's now talking about, let's see, it says, Then Eli answered, Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition that you have made to him. And she said, Let your servant find favor in your eyes. Then the woman went her way and ate, and her face was no longer sad. So that's really what I'm focusing on, is that verse about her no longer looking sad. Down in verse, let's see, it's hard for me to see, 20, I guess it is. And it says here that Hannah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Samuel, for she said, I have asked for him from the Lord. So it's about having faith, right? Being courageous, staying strong. And you see me here, I'm coloring in the hair. So there's so many, I love orange hair, pink hair, purple hair. Most times I go towards the oranges and the pinks, and that's exactly what I did here. And I'm just using the Faber-Castell Pitt pens. And I believe it's 5 different colors on this hair. So I do multiple layers. There's a lot of layering that goes on. And I just keep going until I'm happy with the shape of the hair and the color of the hair, and that it has enough, what I want to call, dimension, right? So it's not all one color. And I'm just trying to give it a little bit of a nice shape there. And it's funny because I'm like, well, I wonder what Hannah's hair looked like Who knows? I don't know. And I went a little bit into the face, and it worked out well with a little bit of a damp paper towel. I was able to get the pit pen off because it hadn't dried yet. And here I'm taking the black pit pen and going over the lines of the stencil. So this is such a great way to make a face on any of your projects without having stress. I mean, I love to draw faces, I truly do, but this was just, it was just nice. It was relaxing, just really, really, really nice. And PETA does just gorgeous work, so I can highly recommend this stencil as well. And it has the two different sizes. So this is the smaller size stencil, and then it came, or face on the stencil, and then there's the bigger stencil, or face on the stencil. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. But anyways, so here I am. I'm going to give her a bit of a neckline here and a couple buttons. All right, and I'm still not done with the hair. I think I have one or two more colors that I'm going to be putting on there. Now, I wanted to give her a little bit of shading under the eye, and I took the Recollections watercolor crayon, which is what I did the background with, and I don't think I actually said that. And I put some on this acrylic block, and using my, wet brush, I thought I could get a good shading under her eyes, and I really struggled with it. I think partially because, I don't know, I somehow was picking up some of that black that I had just put down, to outline her eyes, and I guess it just wasn't dry enough yet. And here I'm using some of the Recollections for her cheeks. And then just rubbing it with my finger like that, it just gives it the perfect look that I was going for. So I was happy with the cheeks, and I'm going to work a little bit on the lips right now. And again, I'm really using the same color Pit pens on her face that I'm using on her hair. All right, so now I'm going to get out some blue and work on her eyes. And I just love this like no stress kind of, face painting and, drawing and everything. It's great, with the stencil. So, and what I really like about it as well is the fact that two different sizes comes on, one stencil, which is, makes it a lot more flexible to use that stencil. And I put some more of that deeper red of the Recollection watercolor crayon on the acrylic block, and it just wasn't dark enough, so I put the actual crayon onto the page, and then it was too dark. But again, what I did was I used my finger, and I just got it exactly like I wanted it to be. All right, and now I just want to get a little bit of that color at like her chin area. And it worked well because I didn't want a lot there. I just wanted a little, even though it does get a little bit darker, and that's because I did want the shading darker on the left side of her face, but I was able to, pull it across her chin area. And I was happy with that as well. So I gave her a good dry. And now I'm almost done with her hair. But here's the fourth color that I'm putting on. Still, all her hair is all the Pit pens at this point. All Pit pens. I am going to do one more thing to her hair, which you will see shortly. But obviously the more layers I get on there, the less of the background you see as well. And I'm happy with her hair and the way it's looking. So the last piece that I do on her face and her hair is with the white Jelly Roll pen, and I'm putting some highlights in her eyes, and I'm also making the whites of her eyes whiter. And then as I'm doing this, I'm noticing that the left eye, on the outside of the left eye, it's like I made it go down too much. Like her right eye goes up on the outside, but her left eye was like going down. So I fixed it a little bit right there, and I was happier with the way that it looked. And continuing going around with the white Jelly Roll pen. And this technique of putting all these white dots throughout is from Andrea Gamal, who I'm sure most of you know. She's a fabulous artist as well. So I learned that from her. And when I'm highlighting with the Jelly Roll pen on the hair, up on top I did smear it just a little bit, but on the bottom I didn't. I just, put the highlights around her hair and just left it. And I like the way that looked. And I will lift it up in a minute to show you. And I'm liking that. I'm pretty happy with the way that she looks. And here we go. I'm going to lift it up. Very pretty. Love that stencil. Just beautiful. Now I'm using this stamp set from Notions from Nani on Etsy. And I'll put that link below as well. And I'm using the Dilutions ink and the Hold On to Faith and Be Strong stamps from the stamp set. And so right above her face, I have Hold On to Faith. And then I have Be Strong, and I was trying to figure out where to put it. And I ended up putting it right on the scripture, right near my focal scripture, which again is, and her face was no longer sad. And now I'm just giving an extra highlight around that part of the scripture as well, so that it would just pop out a little bit more on the page. And I pulled out another one of the Bible art journaling stencils from Housewares. So this is now the second stencil that I've used from Housewares on this page. And what I wanted to do here was give like almost a frame, so to speak, around those words, hold on to faith. So I took washi tape and I covered up the holes in the middle of that design so that when I took this ink and went around, I didn't get it on top of the words, and it worked quite well. And you'll see right here, as I lift this up, I thought that was like a perfect little frame for those words. And then I pulled out another stamp from the same stamp set, and this says courageous. I mean, there was a spot. Look at that yellow spot. Tell me that that's not like the perfect spot for that stamp. And here's some photos, and please let me know if you have any questions. I really hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment. God bless. Bye-bye.